I'm sure she does. Alright. Why does my heart ache when I hear feel the same way too? Alright, well, hello there, people that forget that intro. I'm TheMBmulti, welcome to part 14 of my Let's Play Doki Doki Encore. I'll just there we go. I'll just start a new game so that we don't have to hear the awesome music, but it's a bit confusing when two people are talking at the same time through each other. Anyway, welcome back. This is part 14 of Doki Doki Encore. In the previous episode, we finished the game with the good ending on Sayori's route. We also did the bad endings, and yeah, we're now off. And I gave my final thoughts on the route and the entire mod so far in general. So, if you're interested in that, watch the previous episode, because I'm not rephrasing it. In this episode, we are starting the new route, which is, of course, going to be the YURI routes, because, of course. Alright, so, yeah, we need to answer the questions again. Sayori confessed to you in the basic game. Did you accept Sayori's confession? You won't start on her route. Yeah, no. We did not accept her confession because we're going to YURI's route now, so no. Good, now there's YURI and Natsuki. In the base game, you chose to spend the weekend with one of them for the festival preparation. If you chose no, the last question, you either start off on YURI's or Natsuki's route in the mod, depending on who you choose next. If you choose yes, the last question, well, yes, yeah. Okay, so yeah, we spent the day with YURI. Oh, what the fuck? They still remembered my name. Okay, sure. I was a bit surprised because I clicked new game and then it's like, what? Didn't I? Aren't they going to ask me to enter the name again? Okay. Well, we know that. That is Monika taking control. Alright, anyway. I see my door swing open as my annoying yet sweet friend, Sayori enters my room. Hey, don't run into my bedroom! Sayori suddenly goes back outside and shuts the door. Sorry, Mark. Oh, Sayori, always doing things without thinking. In all the years I've known her, she hasn't changed a bit. Even through the period of time where we drifted apart, it's still good to see she's the same person. Still, ever since we reconnected, and after convincing me to join the literature club, I've still learned some pretty unexpected things about her. It was only last weekend that I learned about her depression and her feelings for me. So I decided on that day to tell her how I felt. I told her I wanted to help her through this so we can get things back to the way they were. At the time I thought I did the right thing, but maybe I could have handled that a little bit better. Since last Sunday, Sayori's been uncharacteristically quiet around me. She didn't even want to be around me during the festival. Even though I know my decision hurts her, I want to try and preserve our friendship, given her current state of mind. At least for right now. What do you mean, at least for right now? You're like, oh, we'll just be friends until she's better and then bye. No. We'll stay friends forever and ever and ever. Why is she here anyway? Alright, I guess it makes sense for Sayori to be here. Lately I've accidentally picked up on her habit of sleeping in. Dealing with the stress of everything in the last 2 weeks has really taken, a bigger toll on me than I first realized. Sayori has now made it a habit of her morning routine to make sure I don't oversleep. At least she seems to be doing a bit better today. Wait, what time is it? I roll over to get a better look at my clock. Oh crap, I'm gonna be late. I launch myself out of bed and get ready for the day. And so another ordinary day of school awaits me. At least we finally get to have our first club meeting since the festival. While doing an abridged version of my morning routine, a wave of nostalgia hits me as I think about the club meeting we'll be holding later today. It's hard to believe how invested I've become into the club since Space War I first joined. But a lot of things have happened since then. I got a chance to get to know YURI a little bit better as we prepared for the festival. I fondly recall back to last Sunday where we spent the afternoon working on the banner. A smile comes across my face as I remember the towel incident. Just like right now, but that's mostly because of Yeah, well, whatever. It's mostly because of the line. It's like, oh, that's our incident. Ho, ho, ho. Then there was Sayori's confession and the fallout afterwards. After the festival was over, I was honestly so burnt out I was tempted to skip the rest of the school week. Still, I think our performances at the festival were okay. We should be getting a few people at the very least. Despite having to perform at this year's festival, I certainly had much more fun compared to last year's. Especially since I was able to spend it with Yuri. Oh, okay, so he spent it with Yuri in this route. She wouldn't let me out of her sight for some reason. Mark, are you almost ready? We're going to be late. Just hang on. I look in the mirror to see how I look. Currently, I'm too tired to really put much attention to my appearance. That ought to do. You ready yet? Yeah, come on in. Sayori enters my room again. Hi, Mark. She beams at me. Hey, Sayori. Sayori then frowns at my appearance. Mark? Sayori goes up to me and attempts to fix my hair. I blush as Sayori's fingers swirl through my hair. Hey, come on. Is this really necessary? You look like you just got out of bed. Well, maybe that's because I kinda just did. Sayori and I fall silent for a second. As she continues, I can't help but be reminded of all the times my mother would do this to me, right as I was about to go to school. I'd always get embarrassed when she did, especially in front of the other kids. How much sleep did you get? Considering everything that's happened the last 2 weeks, a lot. And I still think I need more sleep. Sayori looks a little taken aback by my comments. Sorry, I didn't mean to wake you up so soon. Did I really come across as that rude? I know that Sayori is still going through her depressive episodes, and how it makes her want to avoid being a burden on other people, especially me. Hey, it's not your fault, really. Honestly, I feel a lot more rested now. Your presence helps, Sayori. Sayori's face returns to her gleeful expression. Well, that's good. I really need to be more careful with what I say around her. Though I didn't spend too much time around Sayori in the literature club, we still had our moments, and I guess that set up everything to happen last Sunday. Sayori is my dearest friend. I've always looked after and cared for her in a brother-sister sort of way. But I've had my eyes on someone else recently. That hasn't been stopping me from whacking my brain since her confession. I still ask myself how I could have handled that situation better, or if I even made the right choice. I just hope we can still work through this new chapter of our lives together. Suddenly, remembering that we still had school, I snap out of my train of thought. We should probably get going. We don't want to be late. Yeah, you're right. She says that slightly flustered. Sayori suddenly then looks off into a random direction, trying to avoid making direct eye contact with me. I can tell that she's trying to process the new reality of our friendship. I've been meaning to discuss what happened with her, but neither of us have really worked up the courage to bring it up yet. So we've been getting on by painfully trying to pretend that last Sunday's event didn't happen. Well, let's get going. I try to put as much enthusiasm into my voice as I can, but it just ends up sounding forced. Sayori forces an awkward smile. Yeah, let's go. We awkwardly walk out of my house and make our way to school. I remember how my walks with Sayori used to be filled with laughter, inside jokes and other ramblings, but for now those days seem to have come and gone. Now our walks are usually filled with long uncomfortable silence. Though it's not like we haven't tried breaking the ice with each other. I told you the festival was going to be better than last year's. I guess you're right after all, Sayori. I'm actually glad they finally listened to the students' suggestions of hiring a real DJ. Oh come on, Mark, the music wasn't that bad. The problem with the festival last year was that nobody puts in any effort to organize. That's what I'm saying. If they actually cared and took the time to prepare, they would have hired a professional DJ. That's some cringy Frisier who makes oh, what was that guy's name again? I've forgotten his name. Dave? Was it Dave? I know. That's some cringy Frisier who makes nightcore remixes on his phone to handle the music. Oh, Keith. Yeah, Keith. Oh, that's close. You don't give Keith enough credit, Mark. He tries really hard to make people happy. And he's really sweet too. Oh, come on. Maybe you guys should get together then. Yeah. That's a really bad thing to say after what happened in the previous, well, in the previous game, but it happened last weekend or whatever, whenever it was. I'm really sorry. It's fine. Let's just keep going. Yeah, well, you say you're complaining about the awkward silences, but you're not helping the regular conversation with those remarks either, MC. As soon as we arrive at school, the morning bell rings, making all the other students scramble to reach their first period classes. Walking through the mass of other students, I can't help but reminisce at some of the memories I've had with Sayori in these halls. I didn't really realize how much I've missed out on enjoying the craziness in the hallways before classes until I started walking with Sayori again. Some of our fondest memories with each other were watching all the shenanigans in the school's halls. In hindsight, that's probably why our school started using hall monitors. Still, hall monitors or not, we always find something to laugh at. After a few minutes of navigating our way through the crowded hallways, we finally get to Sayori's first class. So, I guess this is my stop. I can't help but detect an ounce of hesitation in her voice as she says that. Honestly, I can't really blame her, all things considered. We're both still trying to figure out how to go about our friendship, and she always seems to be happy when she's around me. Even despite my rejection of her, she's still willingly hanging around me. Well, at least our friendship still managed to survive last Sunday. Yeah, I guess so. We stand there awkwardly for a moment. Well, I guess I'll see you at the literature club, right? Sayori's disappointment is quickly erased by her usual cheery attitude. Yeah, I can't wait. See you later, Mark. I managed a small smile at her before I turned to head to my first class. The school day is as ordinary and boring as ever, listening to the same old teachers teaching the same old things. Eventually, my torment comes to an end as the final bell rings throughout the school. That means it's time for the literature club. As I leave my class and walk through the door, I see Sayori standing outside. Hey Mark, ready to go? Yep, let's go. So we head off to the club room. We go up through the same familiar set of stairs and distant corridors that lead straight to the club room. I've been wondering all day if anyone new will stop by today. We got a whole week away from the club after the festival, though Monika still expected us to spread the word around about the club. I said that our performances at the festival were pretty well received. Not to mention we had a pretty good turnout for our event. The audience seemed to love our performances. Yeah, well, they at least enjoyed it better than in Blue Skies, because in Blue Skies there was a bunch of assholes in the audience. Though I'm just glad I didn't end up embarrassing myself. Truth be told, I still feel somewhat guilty for just using a poem I found online, especially considering the others actually took the time and effort to write their poems for the festival. Not long after my train of thought ends, we finally arrive at the club room. I look at the door to see the sign-up sheet is no longer there, so I'm taking that as a promising sign. You think anyone signed to join up? Only one way to find out. I gently screw you for putting that line absolutely everywhere. To find the usual scene we've become accustomed to over the last 2 weeks is still the same as ever. I see Yuri reading her book in her usual spot and Natsuki in the closet organizing her manga. I glance around the room, but see no sign of Monika. Hey guys. Yuri sets her book down on her desk. On the desk. Hello Mark. Anybody new stop by today? No, not yet. It's just been me and Natsuki. Monika hasn't even showed up yet. That's odd. She's usually here by now. Natsuki must have overheard us as she walks up to join the conversation. She's probably sulking She's probably sulking that nobody decided to sign up. Natsuki, maybe you should be a little bit more understanding of Monika's feelings. The festival did mean a lot to her after all. I know that, but I still don't see what the big deal is with getting new people. I'm fine with what we have right now. I am too, but try to be a little considerate when Monika comes in. Wait, nobody even signed up? Nope, at least that's what I got from seeing Monika around today. She looked rather down. Sayori frowns upon hearing this. Oh, poor Monika, we should cheer her up. Cheer me up house, Sayori. An all too familiar voice sternly asks. Oh crap. We turn around to see Monika standing by the doorway. Dun dun dun. She enters the room. Her footsteps are heavy. Footsteps are heavy, knees weak, her arms are heavy. There is some coating on her sweater already. Alright, anyway. Judging by the look on her face, it's easy to tell she's looking rather dejected. Yuri, sensing the incoming tension, quickly attempts to hide behind her book, while Sayori, Natsuki and I stand there dumbfounded. They all just look as surprised as I am at Monika's sudden entrance. Oh, hey Monika, we were just, all words escaped me in this situation. I look to the other girls to bail me out of the situation, but nobody has anything to say. Monika sighs deeply, trying to steady her breath. It's alright, Mark. Everyone, take a seat. Everyone takes a seat in the front row as Monika looks on. Monika starts slowly pacing the floor in front of us. So it's true that despite the glowing reviews we got at the festival, nobody signed up to join our club. Natsuki shifts around awkwardly in her seat as if Monika was directly addressing her. Just how much did Monika overhear? Which in and of itself is unfortunate. We put in a lot of effort to make the club look its best at the festival, and it was all for nothing. Everyone avoids making eye contact with Monika, wanting to avoid her disappointed gaze. We tried our best, and in the end we couldn't attract even one new member. Maybe if I did something different, we would be better off. This is my fault. I exchange looks with Yuri, Natsuki and Sayori in an attempt to figure out what we should say. It's pretty clear to all of us that at this point that Monika's really hung up over this. And it's also very clear to me that your choice of words is still mean. After a moment of silence, Yuri is the first to speak up. Hey, Monika? Monika turns her full attention to Yuri. Well, you can't really see it because my face comes in the way, but... Monika has her stern look on with, like, zero expression. Yuri immediately averts her eyes and as she starts shifting her feet on the floor. Surprisingly, Yuri pushes on with what she has to say. Listen, it isn't your fault that we couldn't get anyone new to join our club. Monika closes her eyes, seemingly trying to fight back tears. You pushed us out of our comfort zone to give us an opportunity to make something fun for all of us. And I can say that from my experience from the preparations, it was well worth it. Yuri shoots me a quick side glance. I know exactly what she's referring to. Yeah, Yuri and I had a really good time to... yeah, say that with Sayori there. Yuri and I had a really good time together. We got to paint the banner and we even... Oh, I look over at Sayori and see her staring down with me with a sort of sad look in her eye. I can't say it. Not after I shut her down on Sunday. Even, I feel my face burning up as a deep sense of extreme guilt washes over me. It leaves me tongue twisted, and I don't know what else to say without upsetting Sayori. Yeah, you shouldn't really have continued after that. Just say we had a good time, and or maybe you can even also, well, you know, the whole preparation thing was just fun. Saving me from further embarrassment, Natsuki is the next to speak up. Oh, come on, Monika, don't be so hard on yourself. I had fun preparing for the festival. I always enjoyed baking, so I wouldn't say it was all for nothing. Sayori turns her attention back to Monika. Monika, Yuri and Natsuki are right. There's nothing we could have changed. We made the event as fun as we could, and even though no one joined, that's not so bad. You still get to hang out and have fun, just like we always have. Finally, it's my... What do you mean, finally? I already spoke. I mean, I guess I understand why it's there, because it's just little things that change, but okay. Yeah, Monika, you're a great club president, and I couldn't be happier with what we have now. If no one wants to join, that's on them, not you. Monika opens her eyes and puts on a thankful expression. Yeah, you're right, everyone. I don't know why I was getting so hung up over this. Stop saying that. I just wanted to push our club to new heights. It's my responsibility as the club's president to grow our club and share what we have with others. But I can accept the status quo for now if that's what everyone wants. We all look to each other and nod. Yeah, what we have now is fine. It's quality over quantity anyways. I'm content with our current membership as well. I love spending time after school with all 4 of you, and I wouldn't change that for the world. Yeah, let's keep what we have now. I really enjoyed getting to know all of you over the last 2 weeks. I wouldn't want to see that change because of new members. Monika looks at all of us one by one as we voice our opinions. She nods grudgingly but approvingly. It's settled then. As president of this club, it's my responsibility to listen to each of you, so based on everyone's feedback, we'll keep the literature club as 5 members. At least for now. Despite her agreeing with us, I can't help but feel as though she still isn't completely satisfied. Oh, I'm sure she'll get over it. She's a strong person, and I know she can overcome anything if she puts her mind to it. Soon after the discussion disperses, we all resume our respective activities. Since I have nothing better to do, I decide to see what everyone else was doing. Who should I hang out with? Oh, no, save. Well, there's nothing to skip, so... yeah, we will hang out with Yuri. I go to Yuri first. Yuri is in her usual spot, at the front of the room, reading Portrait of Markov. I carefully approach Yuri, not wanting to startle her. Hey, Yuri? Yuri's immediately snapped out of her trance and turns her head to face me. Oh, hey Mark. Yuri sounds surprised to see me, but she quickly composes herself. How are you doing this afternoon? Oh, I'm doing alright, just wanted to see how you've been. Yuri's eyes glisten. You came to check up on me? How thoughtful. Yuri starts playing with her hair as if she's trying to compose herself. I mean, yeah, it's been a while since the festival. Yuri continues to blush even harder. I'll admit, looking back on the time I've spent with Yuri over the last 2 weeks, I feel a smile form across my face. As well. I quickly try to change the subject to avoid someone seeing us like this. So, how's reading Portrait of Markov been? Yuri snaps out of her gaze and back into reality! There it is. Oh, well, the book has gotten to be very interesting. What do you mean? You read it before? You were just reading it again. You're just talking about it like you're reading it for the first time. How about you? Did you have the chance to get any reading done? Yeah, I was able to read up to chapter 5. I can't believe they left us on a cliffhanger like that. Yuri chuckles to herself. Well, that's why there's a chapter 6. Come on, we can read it together. I'd like that, Yuri. I see Yuri form another smile. You're a really good friend, Mark. She flashes a gentle smile at me. It's very clear that between us hanging out last Sunday, as well as the festival, she's really had me on her mind lately. As if I were being honest with myself, I'd say I've spent the last 2 weeks with her on my mind as well. Yuri may be a hard person to get a good read on sometimes, but I'm starting to... Well, that's not really true. For almost the entire time that I've spent with Yuri, both in this game and in Blue Skies and in the main game, the original game, like almost the entire time I was like, yeah, that's me. Yeah, me. Hashtag me. Or hashtag same or whatever the fuck it's called or whatever. But you know, like, it's like, yep. I understand how that feels. Yep, I understand what you mean. Yep, I understand that. So no, she hasn't been difficult to get a good read on. At least for me. Or maybe it has been and I've forgotten it. You can point me out to one very specific episode in my over 100 episodes long list of Doki Doki videos I've made up until this point. But I'm starting to think that maybe we can be more than just friends. Well, I try. We stand there for a few moments, gazing at each other. Suddenly I remember to grab my book. Oh, I should probably get my book. I don't believe there's a need for that. If you want, you could sit next to me again. If you want. I really have no preference. Yuri becomes all flustered and is stumbling over her sentences. I tried to calm her down. Hey, it's okay, really, I wouldn't mind at all. I start to feel my own face heating up with embarrassment. As if this needed to be even more awkward for the both of us. Oh, out of the corner of my eye, I noticed Sayuri staring stoically Yeah, I know what it means, but I don't know how to pronounce it. Into space. That's not like Sayori. What's up with Sayori? Yuri turns to look at Sayori. I'm not sure. I haven't really seen her like that before. I can't imagine what could possibly be troubling her. Yeah, I'll be right back, okay? Yuri smiles and nods approvingly at me. I'll be waiting. Hey, Sayori. Oh, hey, Mark. Sayori puts on the usual cheerful grin, but something about it just seems off. What's up? I take a seat right next to her. Oh, same old. She smiles sadly at me. Sayori? She must be having her rain clouds again. I gently place my hand on her shoulder. You know that if anything's bothering you, you can talk to me. I'm here for you, Sayori. I hate to see you like this, and I know you don't want to have those rain clouds over your head all the time. I can hear Sayori start to sniffle. And if I've said or done anything lately that has put you in this state of mind right now, I want you to know that I'm deeply, deeply sorry. I never wanted to hurt you, or... Nothing has really changed between us, right? I mean, I want to think so. It's kind of funny, Mark. I don't take your meaning. Do you mean I don't understand what you mean? Because that's, I mean, I guess it's a perfectly fine sentence, but it sounds a bit weird to say. I selfishly thought that if I tried putting all my time, energy and effort into making you happy, I don't know. I thought that you would love me back. I feel my heart sink like a stone in the ocean as Sayori chokes those words out. But I never was the one you wanted, was I? If I wasn't such a mess, you'd still be spending time with Yuri, wouldn't you? I can see why you like her so much. You deserve to have someone like her in your life. I shouldn't be trying to keep you from her. Maybe we should have come to Sayori sooner. Yeah, that's a bit of an understatement. She's clearly been bottling up all of this for a while now. Just the way you seem to be enjoying yourself over there with Yuri, and I've ruined it for you. I'm a terrible friend. You should just move on from me. No fucking way, Sayori, no. I don't care. Even if in this timeline it's like I'm in love with Yuri, and I'm not like in love with you. Like, no. I mean, I don't know whether that's the best option, but I'm not just leaving you alone just because. The only reason I would be leaving you alone is if you truly wanted it, and not in this way wanted it, because now she just wants me to leave her alone because she thinks she's ruining everything, and that's not true. No, Sayori, don't say that. Sayori hugs me tightly. I put my arms around her and close my eyes. I can feel my heart beat in sync with Sayori's. I feel the warmth of her body radiate onto me. Me spending time with Yuri isn't going to make me forget about you, Sayori. And I'm just trying to figure out everything just as much as you are. Oh, well... I mean, yeah, the fact that you both are trying to figure things out is true, but not to the same extent as Sayori, dude. It should have come to you sooner, I'm sorry. I hear Sayori sniffle as she works to prevent herself from breaking down and sobbing. We're like this for some time before we hear some commotion come from the closet. Damn it, Monika! Monika and Yuri giggle before going back to their respective activities. Sayori and I turn to each other, both shooting each other a concerned look over what just happened. I'm going to check on Natsuki. This hasn't been resolved yet. Don't go checking on Natsuki. Sayori wipes her tear and gives me an approving nod. I carefully approach the closet. Hear Natsuki rummaging around in the closet. Natsuki? I ask ever so cautiously and softly as I humanly can. Natsuki turns towards me and I can see the fire in her eyes. What? The frustration in her voice takes me off guard. I need to calm her down before this gets out of hand. Hey, I just wanted to see what's been going on, that's all. Natsuki seems to calm down a little upon hearing this. I can't find my volume 12 of Parfait Girls. Of my Parfait Girls set. Everything's been moved around again. Do you want me to help you? Natsuki seems to be slightly offended at my suggestion. No, I got it all under control. I don't need your help. Idiot. Baka. Oh, no, she says that later. Hang on. Her voice trails off. You sure? Yes, I'm not a kid. I can handle myself, you know? Maybe she can handle this by herself. Suit yourself. As I head back towards the front of the room, I can hear Natsuki's exasperated sighs, followed by more of her yelling. Baka! Yeah, there it is. Wait, what? I'll never get around to understanding Natsuki's weird logic. My train of thought is interrupted by Monika calling us to attention. Okay, everyone. Poem time. Do we really have to do this now? I'm looking for something. Sorry, Natsuki. I just wanted to make sure that we have enough time to share. Natsuki shoots Monika an irritated look. Alright, fine. Natsuki quickly glances back at the closet. I see the irritation from Natsuki's face fade away as she dejectedly looks at the floor and starts to slowly walking to retrieve her poem. Hey, Natsuki? Natsuki turns to me, her face red and eyes glossy as if she was fighting back tears. Yeah? I'm sure you'll find it sooner or later. I know it means a lot to you. I know it means a lot to you that you find that copy. Yeah, there we go. Trust me, I'd be pissed off too if I lost something that was important to me. Natsuki struggles to maintain eye contact with me for longer than a few seconds. I love this song as well. This reminds me, this just makes me think of, last year. That was last year when I played Blue Skies. That was on Yuri's ride. I was on Yuri's ride last year too. On Blue Skies. But yeah, I didn't really pay attention to this song when I heard it for the first time in the main game. But then I paid attention to it when I was listening to it in Blue Skies. And now it's been linked in my brain with Blue Skies only. Even though this song is in the main game as well. What's the song? Yeah, Daijoubu is this song called, I believe. Which I believe means it's okay in Japanese. But yeah, this wasn't the main game, but I didn't really pay attention to it. But I started paying attention to it while I was playing Yuri's route in Blue Skies, which is still, so far, my favorite route on any game, a mod, or whatever that I've played. And so now my brain has linked it with Blue Skies only. So anytime when I hear this song, I think about, well, in this case it was last year around this time as well. There was snow outside, and I made salmon teriyaki for the very first time because Yuri mentioned it in the game, and I was like, I'm pretty interested to see how that tastes in real life. So every time when I hear this song, I think about Blue Skies Yuri routes. Anyway, I know how you feel, and I just wanted to let you know that my offer to help you still stands. Okay, so Natsuki is going to be the troublemaker. Sounds a bit mean, but the person that can shake things up a bit in this route, which is a bit, well, I guess. Well, I was about to say it's a bit weird because I was expecting it to be Yuri. I was expecting it to be Sayori, but I guess it makes sense when I'm on Yuri's route that Natsuki is like the main rival or whatever. Because on Sayori's route it was Yuri, which made sense because Sayori mentioned it in the main game as well. Like by default, Sayori mentions Yuri. I mean, if you're on Natsuki's route in the main game, Natsuki will ask, what if Natsuki asks to walk home with you? Would you say yes? But if you're on Yuri's route or if you're on Sayori's route in the main game, she always asks about Yuri. So it makes sense that when I'm on Sayori's route, that Yuri is the main rival. Sounds very mean, but you know, the main person that causes conflict during the route. And it makes sense that it's Natsuki on Yuri's route because, of course, Natsuki and Yuri are a bit conflicting as well. So, and then I'm guessing when I'm on Natsuki's route, I'm guessing it's Sayori then. I guess. Because it's always Monika. Monika's always there. And I guess when I'm on Monika's route, I don't know. We'll see that later. I'll do Monika's routes last? Or should I do Natsuki last? Because Natsuki's still the least favorite person from the club, in my opinion. But I guess like for the sake of completion, we should do Monika last, I guess. So that first we have all the good endings with all the other three, and then we have a good ending with Monika. But anyway, Natsuki's face returns to its normal color, but she struggles to articulate what she wants to say next. But after a few moments, she can finally find her voice. Thanks, Mark. Hey, no problem. I hate seeing you get so worked up like this. I like seeing you happy. Natsuki stares off into space, as if to process what I just said. You right, Natsuki? Natsuki returns to reality. I'm fine. Let's just get this over with. Natsuki hurries off to the back of the room to retrieve her poem. I quietly sigh to myself as I walk over to retrieve my poem. It's always been hard for me to get a good read on Natsuki. That is true. It's not for Yuri, but for Natsuki it is true. Sometimes I don't know whether she acts that way on purpose, or that she has an ulterior motive for trying to act that way. I proceed to exchange my poem with the rest of the club members, who all seem to generally like it. Despite the rather interesting exchanges that I had with Natsuki, she acts as if it didn't happen, and gave me her usual suggestion of not being too wordy. But during our time together, she seemed unusually unfocused, as if her mind is elsewhere. Likely out of guilt for being angry when I was around her today. While I've always struggled to understand her poem might have given me some insight into what she's going through. Natsuki's poem was about a girl who had a seemingly good friend group. But one day the group added another member, and the new member spent time with just about everyone else, except for her. Yeah. And they wanted to get to know the person because she found him interesting. Yeah. You need to be less off-putting then, Natsuki, because there's a big reason why I'm spending time with Sayori and Yuri. And even Monika, when she's normal in blue skies, and not a psychopath like here. But yeah, you need to be less off-putting, Natsuki. I believe I said that the first time I read your poem as well, but yeah. If you want me to spend time, you need to be more approachable, because every time when I'm just trying to be friendly and you like cut me off like, ah, I can take care of it, go away, baka. Then, well, I know that's the character type of a tsundere is rather popular, but not for me. I can tell you that much. That's just way too off-putting for me. And I'm just like, okay, I'm not burning my hands on that. I'm just going off to someone else. To my childhood friend Sayori, perhaps, who is actually happy to see me. Even when she sometimes pretends to be happy. Or Yuri, who has it set in her mind that nobody likes her because she has been let down so many times in the past. So it's not necessarily on me, to be honest. Well, it is on me now because I've already said in my mind that Natsuki is a horrible person. Well, a horrible person is mean, but is an over-exaggeration as well. But you know, like right now, I'm like deliberately not going on Natsuki's route. I'm going it. You know, because I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to, like, no. And even when she, like, acts cute or whatever later, I'm just like, yeah, it's, the image of her is tainted too much in my mind of all her aggressiveness. But anyway. But it's never worked out, leaving the person feeling alone and unwanted. While sharing my poem with Monika, I could tell that the festival was still in her mind, but she seemed to have more or less moved on from it. Monika complimented me on how far I've come as a writer, and noted how my style was becoming more and more like Yuri's. Something which she teased me a little about, of course. Classic Monika! Monika's poem was in her usual free-form and abstract style. I didn't understand the meaning behind it as usual. But for my best interpretation of the poem, it had something to do with second chances and new opportunities. Monika and I then got into a bit of a philosophical discussion about how we should never give up and always take opportunities when they present themselves. It was relatively inspiring, actually. Sayori's reaction is about what I expected. She says that it's really good and gives me some of her usual encouragement. Though I could tell that she was really forcing a smile. I can't tell if it's her rain clouds acting up or if she's still getting over the rejection. I can definitely tell she was still emotionally conflicted when I read her poem. It was about two friends, a boy and a... Wow, why are these poems so heavily on the nose? In Blue Skies they were still like... I mean, of course, I'm not reading the actual poem, I'm just getting a description from it. So, but still, they're really on the nose. We had known each other for a long time. When the girl finally confessed her feelings to the boy at his house, the boy hesitantly rejected her and walked back into his house, but oddly enough, left the door open. Reading Sayori's poem really made me feel guilty about what happened last Sunday. Let's hope we can put what happened behind us. Surprisingly, Yuri actually came to me first, excited for us to exchange poems. Yuri's poem was in her usual style of being deep and sophisticated, but it was unusually joyful for what she usually writes about. Through my best interpretation of her poem, it seemed like it was about someone finding love and companionship for the very first time. The poem told the story of how they were trying to interpret their own feelings and debate about how they should go about it. Yuri seemed to really enjoy my poem, calling it one of the best poems she's ever read. She also compliments me on how far I've come as a writer and that she's proud that she was able to serve as a role model for me. Our talks of poems quickly shifted to catching up with each other, to see how we've been since the festival. During our conversation, we at times struggled to maintain eye contact with each other. It was clear that what happened last Sunday and the time we spent during the festival was very much on our minds. I've always enjoyed being around Yuri. I even started to like the little quirks she has. She may be shy and awkward at first, but she's a really deep and interesting person to be around. She clearly knows her stuff, and there's never been a dull moment between us. I always did find it adorable whenever she gets flustered and doesn't know what to say or do next. Not to mention, she's breathtakingly beautiful and elegant. She's smiling as if I'm reading it to her. I often find myself getting lost in those beautiful dark purple eyes of hers. If things can always be like this, I could die happy. Okay everyone, I think we'll end off today's meeting on a high note. Club meeting tomorrow, same place, same time. Awesome, I missed our meeting so much. It's definitely nice to fall back into our routine. We begin cleaning up the room, all the while discussing ideas for what we can do at tomorrow's meeting. As I finish packing my things, I feel a tap on my shoulder. Hey Mark, ready to walk home? Yep, let's go. So Yuri and I say goodbye to the others as we exit the club room and begin our walk home. Right, and that'll be it for this episode. So, on the Yuri route, let's see how everything goes with... mostly interested about Sayori. Sorry Natsuki, but mostly see how Sayori deals with this. I hope hope we can help a bit if that's possible. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Click the like button if you did. Subscribe to join the Roman army, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later, Romans. Valete.